All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cube Session. And today I've got special guest in the building from ZAMSOW, the student association here in Moscow, Russia. And today's episode is about, just having a conversation surrounding the ZAMSOW community here. So first things first, I would just love to let you guys introduce yourselves. You tell us a bit about yourselves, and so that we can, So I'll start. My name is Jones from VMXO.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Winga Sichone, and I am the entertainment coordinator in the ZAMSOW. Other than that, I'm a first year student at Ruden, doing agronomy, and I'm a comedian.
Comedian, that's dope. Nice to meet you, and thanks for coming to us.
Thanks.
And
yeah, my name is Masela. I am a second year medical student at People's Friendship University at Ruden, and I'm currently the Secretary General for ZAMSOW. Yeah, so aside from that, I think that's basically it.
All right, that's nice. And thanks for coming to us. First things first, I would just love us to have a conversation about, ZAMSOW, like the association. What's on the ground at the moment? I don't know who answered this question, but this is specifically for like the executive. What's on the ground? And then is there anything that we should look out or be, like what's going on? That's the first question I would want us to.
All right. So to begin with, so far, as I can speak, as we have matters as it stands, I don't think we have any activities planned yet. But obviously, before the coming in of another executive, as we all know, our ZAMSOW constitution suggests that a new executive should be ushered in at least first week of May. So between now and there, we're trying to put things in order and probably put in one or a few activities here and there so that we can just come together as a community. But so far as I can tell, there's nothing much.
So now,
activity-wise.
You know how it is when there's an executive running the show, right? Like today, I would have loved us to have Mbao here because like he's the one who started this whole association thing. Because back then, we're just leaving. The attaché says, we need a representative for you guys. She would let us elect, but then that person would be like the link to everything. But then it was so stressful for a student to be like, the only person who's like the link. Like there are other people who can do other things. Like that person can just be like, Before then, there was the student union, which was dissolved like Vapshe. And then now we started having representatives. And then now we're like, oh, you know what? It's so hectic for one student to be like running the show for every other student. Yeah. How about we come together, we form an association. Each person should have a part to do. And then Ba was like, oh, you know what? You elect me, we'll have, he started the association, which was like a promising movement. And then at the end of the day, when he left, another person came on board. They continued with the same spirit. And then now we are here. You guys, you came in. But then everything just seemed to start falling off. Right? We don't know what happened. Maybe I'm the only one who's noticing it, but then I don't think I am the only. Even you yourselves, I'm sure you've seen it from the way you interact with people. Maybe I might be wrong. Like, what happened? I just want to know from you guys who are in the executive. Like, maybe you can share with us.
Well, to answer that, on my part, I would say we basically, me myself, I cannot see my wrongs. You understand, right? It has to take somebody else to see my wrongs. Understand? So we as the executive, it's not everything that we might notice to say, okay, we are not doing good in these areas, and we live by the people. We are actually working for the people, for the students in Moscow. So if such issues are aired out to us to say, okay, these are the problems we're seeing, try to work on this, I'm sure we will try to work on them. But like generally, we wouldn't say we've seen things ourselves to say, okay, we're crumbling down and everything. It has to require, it has to take somebody out there to reach out to us to say, you're not working well in these areas, in such areas. Otherwise, for me, I think we have different visions. This intake comes, this one will have his own vision, this one will come, will have his own vision, and that will kind of twist everything.
Of course, understandable.
Yeah, but on our own, we cannot see anything if we're doing something wrong. We have to have that extra hand to say, okay, guys, try to do this. I think you're moving out of
Good.
You know?
So now, since you've mentioned it like on your own, you can do that. Now, is it the arrogance or the ignorance? I don't mean to offend, but like you guys, you don't ask for people who've been there. Like, how do you do these things? You know, run this thing. Like nobody ever came to me and oh, like in the intercom, like we need this. And nobody came forward to like ask me anything. Before I left, because Assad came off, I explained it to him. Okay, listen, we've got this platform and then we've got these platforms. Like, we want these to work for the students or anybody who's doing something. Like make them feel included, like they're Zambians.
Yeah.
By that itself, when a person sees themselves on the Zambians in Moscow page, they're like, oh, they've posted me. They feel included in any conversation whatsoever. Like, and then even if you come to say, oh, we've got this party coming up, you buy these tickets, people will be like, oh, it's a Zambian thing. Like slowly they'll feel included because you've showed them that you care about them. Like it's with time, you guys neglected that part of Apshe. There are selected people that you choose to be like, okay, this one will post, this one will post. And then when you look at the platform now, you see similar faces, like the same faces all the way. But then if you go down, you see different people you've never even seen before. So you can tell like there's a change in how things have moved, and then it's visible. And then I'm outside, I'm seated, I'm thinking like, what's going on? Like, so now we're here, you guys, you came in, nobody came forward like, how do you run this thing? If you've got questions, you're just doing things on your own. Like, it's okay to go in there, you don't know anything. You just ask. People help, because at the end of the day, we want the same thing, you get? Like, we want you guys to like succeed, because like, there's this thing that's going to help you, us, and everybody to feel, you know what? I feel like I'm talking too much.
No,
actually, not to cut you short. I think when I came here first, I think I came here on the 9th of November in 2021. So when I came here, I think just a few months later, I was appointed as secretary to the executive. By then I was just growing. Since that I was in first year by then. so I had a very entire experience. I think after I was appointed, by then Joseph Miller was the president. So after I was appointed, it's him I went to approach him on how to go about issues. Yeah, and he gave me some guidelines. Fast forward, we had elections. The current regime were picked. Were elected. After that, the previous one, the person I took after was David Kamela. So he was the Secretary General. Personally, I went to him on how he went about issues and how he carried his issues. Not only that, I took time to read the guidelines which you said, which Mbao made himself. And in those guidelines, personally, I feel it kind of helped me on how to go about certain areas. I'm not trying to speak for everyone else, but it's one thing I want to bring out, that in as much as there is a certain part of the executive that might seem lagging, yes, once that part or once that department suffers, that means the entire executive suffers. We're kind of we're kind of a group. Yeah. So in no way trying to paint myself a good picture. But one thing I want to say is quite right, there's been some faults where we didn't consult from other people, and I'm speaking on a collective base. And also at times I feel there's just this notion we have as Zambians, as a Zambian community, where like you get you get. So I feel if we have a lot of people that kind of are not afraid to speak out. For example, you just spoke of the recent issue or recent changes you saw. So meaning, if I know that I'm doing the right thing, or for example, that was the right thing that was going on, and you don't mention it, I'll go on. For me, I'll be doing the right thing in mind. Just like Winga said, if no one comes out to say, obviously we don't have to wait for someone to come to us and say, but what you're doing is wrong. Yes, we have to consult to people, but again, at the same time, people need to air out. At the end of the day, we as executive are not the only Zambians. We are collective unit. Zambian students everywhere. We're only there to like facilitate every action and everything that happens around the Zambian community. So I feel Ilachitako contributes to the you have some people obviously in the executive as a collective where you're not consulting from the public, and also you have the public who are like okay,
that's something that's very like it's a bad thing, but then you're supposed to expect that, like and then there's this thing whereby like as the executive, you want to show people that you are working, And then there are those people who don't want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Those are the people who cause you problems. But then if you dance to their music, like you won't succeed. You forget, because at the moment, like you'll be working to make sure, to prove a point to that person. So now the whole essence of trying to prove a point to people, like it doesn't, like, even when we started, there were people who were like, no, if you're my association, Shani, I'm a leader, Shani, like, for what? Those people, at the end of the day, like, they're people, when you start something, there are people who come together, like, you know what, this is a good thing, I would love to be part of. And then, because when we were starting this association, there was no point of electing now, like, we were not elected. It's just the following regime that was elected, and this one, and and so forth. So it's like he came forward, like, you know what? Let's make something. Like, I want you to run this, like, people came together. They agreed. They saw the vision. This can bring us together.
Yeah.
And then it somehow worked, even though, like, we had hiccups here and there. Like, we're not perfect people. Now, when you look at how things are here, the togetherness, as Zambians in Moscow, it's like, we're drifting apart. Like, back then, we used to have, I don't want to say this, like, we were perfect or very successful as an association by then, but no, the togetherness, at least it was there. Now we have to force things, right? So, like,
to come out.
What's going on? Like,
you see, this is why it comes in. The vision you guys had when, let me say, Mbao to be specific, the vision he had is different from the current president, the previous president before Mbao. It's different. So, Mbao might, and you guys have, maybe you have seen something different, But to come to think of it, maybe none of you came to one of us to say, okay, guys, this is what's going on. What's going on? None of us reached out. Especially, like, to me, the entertainment, there was a problem with entertainment. There were some changes in the JR, Most of the entertainment people that are the entertainment coordinators, they were not elected. They never, went through this.
The elections.
The elections. Yeah. It was just a thing where the president sat down and the other executives, and then they chose and came up with names and said, okay, it was an emergency. And then. So some of my colleagues, I would say, speaking from the entertainment department, they have, let me say, they didn't even know who to go to, because the person that was before them was one who was just dropped, and then you cannot get an advice from him, you understand? And then the person who was before that person didn't reach out to us if maybe we were going to say, okay, guys, this is what you're doing. It was a thing which we already talked about, to say, they waited for things to be bad, and then they air them out. You understand, right? Yeah. But if it was somebody who really saw that something wrong is going on here, he or she would have tried to reach out to us to say, okay, I think here what you're doing is not okay. And the other problem that I've seen is you would find people that were in the former executives are not coming to the current executive to say, try to do this. They are going outside to the people. You understand? Trying to paint to dent in our name. You understand, right? Instead of them coming to us saying, this is what you're doing, they're going out there and saying, no, you guys are not working. This is what they're doing. What? So is it so? You understand? You understand what's going on? So that's the problem. It starts from, when you think of it again, it starts from them.
Yeah.
You understand, right? From them as well, because they're the people that are supposed to come to us and say, okay, do this, do that. But again, they're ending up denting our name. So it's kind of hard for even us to reach out to them. You understand? Someone who's saying bad things about you cannot go.
Can I come in? Okay, for me personally, at the end of the day, we're simply trying to find ways on how we can make our ZAMSOW community successful, right? And I personally, I think it's a two-way thing. The leaders go to the people go to the leaders, and not one-way traffic. It's about seeing if I know I'm wrong, in as much as I'm in the executive and it's fostering everything. If someone in the outside, for example, you Jones, someone about it will be wrong of you. Why sir? No one when a mistake. Why sir? You go outside and you're like, watch Did you see what he did? Did you see the decision they arrived at? Yet, if you went and approached the person I think they would have made a better decision. The same would have gone with the executive if they see that certain things are not running properly on the people or from the side of the people they are leading. Then I think it's also good and right for them to approach them, and if they need advice.
And then now coming to the issue of reaching out,
Yeah.
the new executive, like you guys, you give off this thing like what? Why sure? I don't know if you understand. You don't want to listen to like somebody else tell you okay, it's like you give off that thing where like you won't tell me anything, like I've got this. Why sure? So this is what I'm saying, like I don't know if it's the arrogance that it makes people outside to be like, you know what? Even if I tell them this, nothing will change. Right?
I think that's what I would prefer. Sometimes, me, when it comes to texting, texting people have got a different vibe. So if somebody texts you without an emoji, you feel, there's some type of way, I have to them or something, you understand, right? But maybe that person was texting while smiling, but just never added an emoji, you understand?
No,
so there's some people that we just think, this person is being arrogant. But have we tried to reach out to them? And have we tried to get their feedback?
Sorry, not to cut you short. I know you want to ask something. On the issue of reaching out, I feel that's the notion that's if we say we're not reachable, I think we're being unfair to us.
Exactly.
Why am I saying so? Just recently, I don't know, in the previous regime we had these WhatsApp groups, and where we had the executives alone and the university presidents alone. At times the group could only have the university presidents and the presidents of ZAMSOW. But currently, right now, we have WhatsApp groups. We have all universities present around Moscow with the executive. So, and as much as we are trying to say we are not reachable people.
No, like not being reachable in a sense. Okay, for example, you give off this thing like since we are the one here,
we know everything.
We're like whatever, we don't need you to like. So it's like even if you guys make a mistake, I'll just sit and see. Why should like? Because the way. Okay, let me give an example.
Exactly, please.
Something tragic happened to our late brother Nathan,
And
then now there were journalists reaching out to ZAMSOW platforms on Instagram, on Facebook, on Shine. And then by then, like I gave all the passwords, all everything to like the new people who came in. Like I was no longer an admin in any of those platforms, But then for the Facebook one, like the admins, you still
can still
they can
things.
still
So now this is what happened. Like I don't deal with anything to do with others because I'm no longer the admin there. So now what happened was like the journalists were asking for information, like, can we post this picture? And then there were people who were just saying, yes, you can, yes, you can, yes, you can. And at the end of it, they're like, I didn't even know that was going on till your president, David, he came through. He's like, can you remove yourself from the admin on our Facebook, on our pages? I was like, like the way the text came, like, can you remove yourself? Like, it just sounded rude, Waishwa. Like, it didn't even come off to me like, you know what? Instead of me, I didn't want to retaliate. I just told him, I'm no longer the admin of those pages anymore. Like, I don't even, Then he was like, no, you can remove yourself, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what? I just went to Facebook, because like on Facebook, when you're trying to remove yourself as an admin, there was a point of where you have to put in the non-password.
Someone has to confirm and everything. It's a process,
So now, by then, when I was trying to remove myself back then, like that option was not there where you can just remove yourself. But then you have to have the password. Like, we didn't know the password to the Facebook page. Like, for the ZAMSOW and for the Instagram and the YouTube, I gave all the information to those guys. So it's like, when he came to me like that, he gave me that thing of where, but like, okay, you know what? I'll remove myself. I removed myself, like, done. So now, I might not be the only one that might have happened to. Like, I've heard complaints from like people from the previous regime. They're like, no, these youngsters, they feel like, they think they know everything. And then it's like, the way you talk to the people, it gives them the idea that maybe you don't need them at the end of the day. So like, when David sounded like that, it gave me the thing of like, maybe they have it covered. They don't need our help or whatsoever. Because at that point, you would have told me, oh, there's this thing that's going on, and then we would love to know if you are the person who's been responding on the at least by then, like that, you'd have, the names of admins there was written, like, oh, this is admin. You can just reach out to those people and be like, oh, you know what, like, this is happening. We don't want to let out
everything to be,
But then to me, it's like, remove yourself. And then that might not have been to me, maybe to others who are also on the admin list. We make mistakes. Maybe that was an error. But then eventually, after time, he came to respond. He was like, no, maybe I didn't sound, I sounded shan. Like, I know, it's cool. Like, I understand. Like, it's frustrating dealing with people. And then I understand. So now, the issue we have right now is like, other people, they don't feel represented on the platform. And you guys run that platform now. Like, what's happening? That's a question I want to know. Like, what happened? What is what? Give us the backstory, Waishwa.
Okay. So, to start with, the birthday issue is the one that really caught my attention when they talked about why you posting each other on birthdays and everything. You know, it's not a thing of being selfish, I would say, but, you know, we are working for the people. That's one thing we need to know. And for example, I'll give an example of the government, right? The government, generally, they're working for the people of that particular country. And they've got certain privileges that comes with that, their job. You understand? The presidential movement and everything, somebody opens the door for them, you know, wakafika place, so the virtue of the ZAMSOW, the executive, posting, you know, its leaders on their birthdays, it's just to appreciate them more, you know, what they are doing and everything. That has got nothing to do with, say, no, we're trying to put ourselves there. No, it's just, you know, because imagine, we cannot, the truth is this, even you, the time you were in power, you couldn't manage to post every single thing. You couldn't manage. And if we say we cannot please everyone. There are so many students in Moscow. We cannot manage to do someone every day in birthday amount. They in birthday amount. Think of one is they don't birthday. They don't birthday. You understand? So where we can, we are there to help. And you know, there was an issue. Sorry, sorry to cut you. You know, there was an issue to say no. Kuli no, wakondana. No, wazaposa tazaposa kachabe. You know, no, magero wa posting kachabe. You know, like person no posting anashani. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of a thing where it's not everything. It's not every time we're on our phones and keep updates, you understand? So whatever we find, you understand? My friends and I, if we just, okay, let us try to share this, you understand? But at the end of the day, we cannot manage to please everyone, even if we try to. Because if we start now, we'll not manage to, you know, understand, right?
I think let me just add on what he said. As you are aware, most of the executive members we have right now, mostly it's my second year, first year, So I feel that I think the only way we can make things work is, for starters, since I'm in second year, I don't know all the students that are, specifically those that are like my fifth year, so obviously it's not possible for me to like get in touch to each and every one of those. For example, if I don't know, I'll just give an example since it's the name that came up, Elnatic, right? Okay, I know him personally, but Nelanda vat okay, ngashamwishiba. So when I saw oh, couldn't guys have finished music? So the fact that I've not really heard about him and I'm running a certain page, ZAMSOW page, if I don't have, for example, we have the different university presidents. We have university presidents at Shurden. You have university presidents at various universities. If that president is not working hand in hand with the executive, obviously, if they see something is wrong or the student from that university something is wrong, they air it out to the president. The president airs it out to the executive, and at least they work on it. I'm not trying to make an excuse for them in as much, I'm not trying to make an excuse for them, but I feel if that was put in place, I feel we would be on a smooth path instead of creating these notions and making what it is seem as it is.
And the thing is, for the page, like especially the page which is like very interesting is the Instagram page. So what happens is it's not possible to post people. No wonder we reshare on our stories. It's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
You can just reshare and tag them. That's all. Mention them in a story. That's more than enough.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me you've got contacts in your phone. You've got you see somebody's birthday. Reach out. Is that person in Moscow in Shan? Like, you will see screenshots for people say, happy birthday. Like, I just you can go to their profile or get a picture, just put it on the story and mention them, say happy birthday. That's not even an issue.
Yeah.
Because like it's difficult to like make the designing Shan happy birthday secretary Shan you post. That's too much work. Yeah. It's okay if you're doing it for like executive leaders and stuff. It makes sense. Like it's only right. But for regular people, like you can, share them. It's not. It shouldn't be a thing. Like that's how we used to do birthdays, to say the least. Like we used to reshare people's. Maybe you just get their picture from you reshare it on the story. I mentioned them happy birthday. So chapo, you know people who know people who know people. Right? So saying no, we can't know everybody's birthday. That's a lie. Like. Even if you miss somebody's birthday, like you see that, today was somebody's birthday, just get a screenshot, put it on the story, mention Chapwa. It's not much. You please them. Like people want to feel included.
Definitely. Because I also remember the time before I was in the executive, I was shared on the ZAMSOW.
You see? And how did you feel by then?
I felt bad. No, I felt good. I felt good. It brought a certain joy to me. Like, I just thought, who's running this page? It gave me, okay, I'm being, it really felt good.
It's no longer, it's not really about who's running the page. It's like, okay, maybe you see, like, I'm part of the community now, and then it gives people to feel included. Right? And the other thing is, like, why is it that there are people who, like, you share their content more as compared to others? Like, why?
Okay, so to answer that, the ZAMSOW, I don't know about, I've not researched much about this, but currently there are three entertainment coordinators.
You are three.
We are three.
Okay, because there's supposed to be one, the leader, and then he's got two people he works with.
Exactly. So,
like you can mention them so that we follow them. Okay, so that you can reach out.
It's a safe space.
No, okay, no, don't worry. Like, so that them, it's on the page.
On the page, exactly.
No, everything is there.
It's there on the page.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I can send them out. We've got Priska Mulanda, and we've got Muiza Kaonga. And then there's me. You get before we were put in power, Muiza and I think Shepherd.
Which Shepherd?
Is it Shepherd? Who was should be Lukundo?
Zaizo was the intercom.
No, Shepherd.
Shepherd, no?
Shepherd Kachepa.
Shepherd. Yes, I think Shepherd. Okay, whichever. So Muiza is kind of like our overseer because she's got more experience and you get it. So what we did was a thing where we decided to say, okay, each week has to have somebody to run the pages. Because if today I post something, someone else will post something, there'll be just that, kafuafa, just to be orderly. So it depends with who is in charge. If it's me, if I know someone, personally, if I know someone, you understand? That means that person that I know definitely, you understand? So it's not a thing where it's everyone, like we just decide, no. So it depends with the person who's on that week, you understand?
So the way you're putting it is like, okay, the people who used to be in charge, like to be active when they're in charge, are the people who used to share their people.
If you know,
the most active admins were the ones sharing their favorite.
The most it's a thing where I would say, sometimes you might not be active, like it's not your week, but then you find yourself you are on the page, and then while it's just browsing, and then you decide to see something, and then you're like, let me just put this past status, wangu. Before you even acknowledge someone else's, because it's not your week, you understand, and then you end up posting,
No, but then I understand that part. It's hectic too, but then when we're growing the page, like everybody was so active. But now, like, the platform is like, okay, you know, it's doing okay. Like, once in, like, now it's got people's attention.
Exactly.
They want to see who's doing what's happening, you know? Like, and then now we're just seeing a specific group of people are the ones being posted on the platform. Like, how about these others? They're not doing any, because the way it was set up is like, if you're doing something and you share it out to the public, you find yourself on the platform.
Exactly.
Right? And then now we're at a point whereby, like, we've seen people who've done things, but like they've just gone unnoticed. Not even a story shared, Waishwa. Like, people are doing a lot of good things, Waishwa. And then this is the thing whereby, like, what's happening? The admins are not working. That was the question, like, what's going on? That's why we asked that question. Like, and people were coming to me, were like, don't come to me, go to those guys. And I don't know if you guys were not reachable. This is why we started with being reachable.
Yes.
Maybe they might have reached out, or they might have said it in a way, but you didn't just catch on. So, like, you know what? Let me just put it out there for the people to see, and for people to know that I heard you, and then talk now. They started coming out in the group. You saw how they reacted, what they talked about. Like, it meant like, okay, we have to have a conversation.
Exactly.
It's like, you're growing something, and then these other people are not being represented, and these others are being more represented. Like, let's try to be fair, Aisha. Like, even though they are not your friends, like, let them be, you know. We're not friends, Aisha. And then this same thing causes people to hate people, Aisha.
Exactly.
Okay, why buy poster? Why poster, Aisha? Like, want a platform, want people to feel, because once they feel like they're included there, everything else that the association does, people feel the need to participate, because you've showed them that, like, we see you.
You know, the thing, I think, as we said earlier on, you know, sometimes somebody might be doing something that is right. James right there, you yourself right there, you know, you think everything is okay, you know, but you have someone out there to tell you that, okay, try to work in this, try to do this. Myself personally, I would say no one came to me and said, why are we seeing the same faces?
Okay, you yourself, you didn't notice
personally,
it. You didn't notice it,
you understand? You know, to me it might seem normal, you understand, right? That's what I'm saying. You know, so if someone doesn't air it out to me, I'll think it's normal. You understand? So if you don't tell me my problem, I'll think everything that I'm doing to you is just okay. You understand, right? So it's a thing where no one, and I think even my fellow colleagues, no one reached out to them, because we've got a group where we air out everything. You understand? And if at all they were reached out to and then they never brought it out there, like they never brought it out to the people, that means I think there's an error somewhere.
So you guys were at a stage of whereby, like, you saw we reached out, like, our complaints. I'm sure you sat down as executive and you're like, you know what, maybe that or maybe we thought maybe you were in a bubble, and then somebody, because like, what are you guys going to do about it? Like, that's something you must assure us, and you will, okay, we want to move like this now.
Of course. You know, sorry, James, to cut you short.
Okay.
Let him start, right? Now
so obviously, I think when you aired the issue of whatever was going on with our socials, I think I was the one who assured everyone about your grievances, concerns, and corrections being heard. Yeah, so my duty as a Secretary General is to make sure that the concerns are taken directly to the President and he acts on them. And so obviously on the issue with regards to our social media, yes, we were doing some things viewed as wrong, and yeah, some of them were wrong, and at times, yes, we were doing certain things as right. But in any case, if we are to be running and the good executive, we have to ensure that at least the good outweighing the bad. So we have to do more of the good part and more of what the people want. So yeah, we definitely sat down with the entertainment department and with the executive, and to ensure specifically how our socials should be run, and I assure you the changes will be seen.
So far we've seen, like, lately you've shared some.
At the end of it all, I would say I think the whole executive must have been judged because of one person's wrong. You understand, right?
Yeah.
Just because of one person, and that's how it is. Not you know, you understand, right? So it's just one person messed up, and then everything was just obviously once. You know, the
thing is,
understand?
Not to cut you short. In as much as long as we're the executive, I think it's only right if we all take the blame.
Yeah, exactly. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is this: once we seemed to be wrong, and I think next time, be it us or the next leaders, I think my advice for us who are going to be out of power and everyone who's out there, you know, you see something that is wrong. I approach you, for example, and then you answer me in a way where I'm not comfortable with. I would prefer going to somebody else. I like thinking everyone is just like that. You understand, right? But at the end of the day, we are not perfect. We definitely are not perfect, and we heard what the people said. As James said, we had a meeting, and then we put everything in place. And as you said, you are happy now with what's going on. And that's how it is. So you see, that's how it is. So we listen to the people, and we're working for the people, for the students in Moscow. So
and then the other issue is about in the group, the freedom of speech. Like that one, what's going on? I'm still coming back. What's going on? That freedom, like there's always noise about freedom of speech.
2 minutes, the group is closed.
No, I feel to begin with, let's start with why is the group there. I think that's why we can understand what we ought to post there and what we ought to discuss about stuff. And of course, to understand which people are in that group. I think the moment we understand let me start by explaining why and the reasons why we have such groups. The main reason is to ensure that information reaches people easily. We have a lot of people within Moscow, and it's not possible for one person to text each and every person, so here and there. So it's only right that everyone gets the information from there. And on the issue of having freedom of speech, obviously,
people feel like they can't express.
Firstly, if someone wants to express their concern, I think the tone of how they express stuff matters. John Zapapen and you say something like if I feel like you're not asking in a good way, not respecting me, I'll be like even like a child, if you're training up a child, you constantly be repeating, and at the end of the day you become more hurt. So what I'm trying to say is, obviously there might be some lapses here and there where that is concerned, but I think it all comes down to how we come out as a person trying out to air their views. You aired your views last time out. You said perfectly, and a conversation spread out. Everyone was talking about it. Now, why does the same not happen with others? It's because of how certain people come out, and as long as we don't change how we come out, we don't respect the different people we have. We have undergraduates there, we have people doing their masters, we have people doing their PhDs, and you're using certain vulgar language, and they'll actually see that we're actually, as executive, we're supporting that language. So if I see that that's not the language you're using is not inappropriate for a group that we have. If you're my friend, yes, we might even insult DM. But the moment we come out, I think we need to portray a certain picture, because we're not only speaking to your friends, but everyone around the Moscow community.
And I think the people who post this are just too comfortable, right? So like as guys, we've got groups. If you want to chat with your friend, like DM or have a group of your own. Like we don't talk football in that group. Like me personally, like I've got a group with my boys where we talk about football, anything related. I'll never post anything about football in that group. So I feel like those guys, they are bored, and then they don't have where to like, they should create a group for that kind of conversation. It's so unnecessary. And another thing now, let's go back to the idea of Zambians, like Zambians in Moscow, the toxicity amongst ourselves. That thing of whereby me, I don't hang out with Zambians. Like where does it even start?
Where does it come from?
What happened? I found it like that, right? So like, especially at Ruden, there's a lot of Zambians there. Like,
but then there are people that get busy, they're on BC, they go but you never know. You only see them at the embassy. That's it. You know, you not even know that this is Zambian. Uzambo no mkamba mchinyanja muntu, thinking it's from Congo or what. But you know, like people, but I'm like, you know, there was a time I was moving. Nezoenda pa Ruden. Nambono kamba nanga unwa kutu. Anka check ina chan. Then I bonus that iwe. And I come say you, and I number of you know, I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know if they're ashamed of it, or I don't know the way. You know,
Okay.
we also don't understand. You understand where people will be like, it's about Zambians, because even in the parties that we hosted, like we had the Independence Party. Before the Independence Party, there was even the New Dawn. But people used to, I can pay for this thing. Zambians, you know.
Zambians.
You know.
Okay, so the thing is like that thing, we found it, right? Even us, it's like there was that toxicity, but then the whole purpose of the association we created is like to bring people together, like just do things together and show them like you can actually hang out with your fellow Zambians, right?
Exactly.
But then you guys, your regime, we haven't seen anything so far apart from, was it the Independence Party?
Yeah.
And then it came at a time where people had other engagements, like me personally had other engagements, I couldn't come through. And then other people as well. But then what are you doing apart from just that to, like, you know, bring people together? That's something I wanted to ask you guys as your executive. Because I've seen and noticed like the football games, like the sports department, kudos to, they're doing things, but then that only engages like guys, right?
Yeah.
But want something for everybody. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what ideas do you have that's going to help, you know?
Okay, so to start with the first one, you asked about, you know, it wasn't good timing, the Independence Party. Well, the Independence Party was supposed to happen quite before, earlier than it did, but it was a matter of, we thought about the students that were coming in, because they delayed, and we just wanted them to settle down, and then we would think of, you know, to welcome them. Say this what goes on, you understand? So it was more of them like trying to welcome them and everything. That's why we delayed, so that at least by the time they would be in Russia, they would have settled a bit here and there, you know, until And then coming to the aspect of where you talked about what are we planning next. You know, we have something. We've drafted some events, and we're yet to choose which one and the theme and everything. You know, what can it be called and everything. You know, but we do have something in mind, and we are hoping that it's going to be good, quite all right. You know, we tried our best to deliver on even though you won't give credit, but at least
like
the Independence Party.
I mentioned it as like you guys, at least you're doing apart from that, like because at the end of the day, it's these events that bring people to, like it's a difficult task to take up to say okay. We have to
together.
Bringing people together.
And you know, during that same period, during the Independence Party period, is a period where some executive members were put out, and then some were, you know. So it came as something we never expected. Most of them never expected to say, okay, I'm going to be a leader, or I'm going to be this. You understand? So it's a matter of trying to learn in a short period of time, and then trying to please people and trying to have, you know. So at the end of the day, we will do something. Speaking on the entertainment side, definitely my colleagues and I are still planning on something. Then we'll do something definitely at the end of the day.
And the other thing I would love to say is that your executive, like there's a lot of people in like first year, second year, the previous regimes, like there were people, they were starting from second year, third year, you know, those are the people who are like in the executive. So it's like they know the system, like they know how people are, and it was somehow easy for them to like work around it, like bring, you know. But then you guys are like a lot of new people, you don't know everyone. We're finding on the page just similar faces, because those are the people you think you know are Zambians, right? You're running a platform, but then you don't know everyone. But then your job, your task is to like, you know, do your research. Like you have to know everyone. Not really know them, but like know who is who and know who is what. And what, because every content deserves to be on the platform, regardless whether like it's a platform that's going to represent, like people love to feel represented, right? Appreciated and stuff like that. So if you show them, okay, but some post, I know I did this song, like a freestyle, you post it on the page, they feel, a lot of people saw me. Next time you say, oh, there's this Zambian party, they want to come through. So just like slowly by slowly, like with time, it started moving in the right direction. We had the Z experience. I don't know if you guys were here.
The Z experience was too.
So like that event was like, okay, a lot of people in Russia, a lot of Zambians in Russia, they came through. like we had hiccups here and there, but then it was like one of the biggest events that Zambians have ever hosted. And then to some extent, like it just showed the ability, like we have the quality to do something like that. If only you choose to like move in the same direction. But then with what we are seeing, like guys, let's go back here. So I hope we'll move in that direction. Like we'll continue heading into that direction.
And I think just to correct you a bit, leadership doesn't matter how long you've been. It's just about exposure. There are better people that can lead people.
Of course.
A Patfak can lead better than a person who's been here for 5 years. You understand? So it's just a matter of I would say we'll take the blame where we've not just tried to expose ourselves to the public to say let's try to know people and here and there, maybe we've just been in that shell. So okay, the people that we know are the people that the people that we know Kwasi and them. But otherwise, I think anyone can be a leader regardless of which. But according to the rules of with the laws we have. To say, maybe after a year or two, that's when you can be a president or something. But otherwise,
which is only right.
Which is good again, which is good.
Am I allowed to add the word?
No,
I feel going forward, just like I mentioned earlier at the start, we said very soon we're going to have a new regime ushered in somewhere May. So here's one thing we need to avoid as a Zambian community. That thing whereby, quite right, it's a good thing to have people like myself who are first year, second year, somewhere there. And it's not the fault that Nabafula. It's the fault of those that are older than them that are afraid to take the task of leadership. So obviously, as a young person growing up and being young, you've not experienced much of, you've not had a lot of experiences. You are definitely assured to mess up at some point.
Exactly.
And quite right, it's not like. Well, you got automatic attack. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. But the point I'm trying to drive at is, as those that are like senior years, 5th year, 4th year, let's try to take up these responsibilities. Not only that, I feel it goes beyond than running the executive itself. I think it enhances your leadership quality. I myself, before coming into the ZAMSOW executive, I'm not going to Ruden. So before coming here, I think I've realized how to interact with certain people, how to approach people that are of my age, people that are not of my age. Even my friends know that but when I'm trying to exercise the roles that I have as Secretary General, they know that I'm serious. So I feel that's the kind of stuff or kind of attitude that we really need to develop and build up going into the next regime. And also, I don't know, guys. What the bomb my closing remarks?
Why you're going to my closing?
So I think just touching a bit on the toxicity part, why you mentioned toxicity part, in as much as the executive were trying to do something, also part of the student being patriotic and wanting to take part in activities also, activities, Zambia. The notion that we have, some of us, when we come here, like there are certain people that are like that. I was even surprised that there's some Zambian girl, some America. Nice what talk Z, but a certain Zambians know them as they are from America.
Yeah.
So Kawaji.
All this coming at Ruden is.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
It's
all about one, being patriotic. I mean, if you're not proud of where you come from, then who are you to begin with? You don't know the person that you are. You first have to identify the person that you are to know, to whom you play your allegiance to. I mean, if I know I'm Zambian, obviously, if I'm a patriotic Zambian, I'll try to take part in activities. Yes, that can also be attributed to the part where the executive and other stakeholders come to play in, why you kind of make them feel part and parcel of whatever you're doing. But at the end of the day, it's all collective. I think Nalanda.
No, Olifia, I agree with that, right? And one thing I want to add on is you guys must understand, like Zambians, we've got the potential here to be like the biggest community here, right?
We do.
We've got a lot of people who do things that are so amazing. And then it can make sense if you support those people, just come together for those people, actually. Vapshe, it can make sense.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I don't know where it stems from, the idea of, like, no, Zambians, hey, like, bruh, support your people.
You
like,
know,
we've got the potential to be that community, you know?
Yeah, come to think of, to coming to that, my friends and I, not to brag, we were on TV show, a competition, by Cooking Sister, which was on PRV Canal. And PRV Canal is the biggest, it's a very big thing.
Yeah.
And we could have people, we call them, no, please come through. And then some people could give excuses. But on the final day, at the end of it, like, we did get some support. You understand? And for that, I would like to appreciate everyone that supported us. Like, it was an amazing journey, even after, because it was final, then Stadium Namulusa, they comforted us, Filambai, tears, but then it was, so it was a thing where at the end of the day there are those good ones and there are those bad ones, but that experience, I thought the good are more than the bad. So Zambia, we can do better.
Now imagine if from scratch everybody was in for it, Aisha. Like, just imagine how
would have been better,
how successful it would have been
better. Even these problems that you're finding in the executive would have been there, because people would have reached out to us. You understand, we just need to work on our togetherness.
But anyway, guys, I don't know if you've got anything else to say.
Yeah, personally, I have something.
Hey, let's go.
It's just for a few minutes. I think the whole idea we have this ZAMSOW is to make a name out there as a Zambian community. There's a Zambian doing this, and it all comes down to the idea of us supporting each other in whatever the person is doing. Yes, as the executive, we have a larger part to play, because we are literally facilitating everything, and we can only be the person that inform the other persons about what the other person is doing. So I feel, in as much as we are the executive, I feel we have don't neglect us.
Hey, in fact, to add on, I feel like people don't have they don't have the trust in your regime. Like, I feel like people don't trust you that much. We're like, you know what, the executive, we can just do this shit.
Do you trust us?
I reached out. Like, listen, I see the potential for us to do something better. No wonder I reached out. Like, you know what, let's sit down, have a conversation about this. Like, I trust that you can do something better, like something good, But then, like, it might be other people. Like, other people might just be like frustrated. Like, like, they feel like they don't trust you enough. Like, but to show them why they should trust you, and show them that you are working for them. Like, you might not really need to do much, but like, just do enough. You don't need to do much, but do enough. And make them see, okay, this is what's going on.
Exactly what Jones has said. Correct us when we're wrong, and at the end of the day, we're representing all of you. We err in as much as, yes, it will be our blame. Again, the blame will be attributed to you. Trust us. Give us directions why you think we're going wrong, and we'll do the same as well. So it's a collective unit. We can't do this work alone. We need your support. And at the end of the day, we're only here for a few months as this regime. So we want to leave the idea to say, okay, these people did this kind of stuff, and how did that stuff improve the well-being of Zambians in Moscow? I think so that we can leave a better foundation for the next regime. If at all the next regime has seen that we are being neglected, or we are not working with you, no one would even want to stand in the next election, because I wasn't seeing the support the people were giving these people, and definitely I wasn't seeing the support the executive were giving the people. So as a collective unit, it's a Tuda and the Bratna stuff. So I think once we work on that as a community, I think we can achieve a lot of things. Like you said, we have huge potential ranging from music, others are talented in comedy, others are good speakers, and I feel there's a lot of untapped potential. So I think Nashta conclude then.
So just to, I think we put into consideration everything the people have said, and we are working on that. We're not perfect people. We learn through mistakes, and I'm sure with these mistakes we've learned, and we are hoping to work better. And looking at the previous regimes, I would say they were good. The current one as well, despite it having a few hiccups, I'm sure after this, and we'll definitely have a better ending at the end of the day. We all just need to summon a good spirit of patriotism, of service and responsibility. You know, while each one of us resolves to pitch in and work harder for the good of Zambia. You know, so at the end of the day, we will work hard and do it for the people.
Yeah, but don't post your friends too much. Post Okay, like guys, thank you for coming. We're wrapping up. It was a wonderful conversation. In case of anything, share your handles where people can reach you.
So me on Facebook, people can reach out to me on via Winga S Sichone, and my Facebook page is Sicho Comedies. Yeah, and Instagram same Sicho Comedies.
My handles my Instagram handles is Masela James. Facebook the same, Instagram, apart Twitter.
Yeah, that's
but that's all Patinda.
Alright guys, thank you for coming. It was a wonderful conversation. I hope we do it again soon on different circumstances.
Better one.
Yeah. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and yeah. Peace. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.